Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing great. In this video, I just want to go over the option yield ETFs, such as Yieldmax, TSLY, and Defiance QQQY, and doing potentially covered calls on them. So I, I was excited for the last few days because I saw some of the options chains were available on certain of these newer high yield option based ETFs. I think in general, Defiance and Yieldmax ETFs are great, but I was wondering if we might be leaving some money on the table here. So I wanted to go in some of the option chains themselves on these option-based ETFs. I know it sounds really funky, but there's potentially yield on yield opportunities here. So I wanted to share my experience and some trial positions. So I've started like for the ones that do have options chains, like for example, TSLY, Triple QY, uh, and VDY. I think there might be some others, but they're like I'm not interested in the particular either the strategy or the underlying stock yet, so I hold off on those. But let me take a step back and share what a covered strangle is, because I've used a strategy on stocks that I like and that I plan to average into. So dollar cost averaging into some of these stocks by using a option strategy called a covered strangle. So basically, a covered strangle is just a covered call and a cash secured put at the same time on the same stock. So I think most people know what a covered call is. A covered call is just you buy a stock and then you sell a what is called a covered call at a strike price that's usually uh, at the money or slightly higher. There are some people that like to do it in the money, but I think for now, I don't want to complicate things too much. So I think it might be helpful to just share what a potential cover strangle would look like on a TSLY. So for example, I would buy 100 shares on TSLY because this is something that I've been taking a look at, especially with the earnings call and like the whole fiasco surrounding it. This is a potentially a good opportunity to get into TSLY. So what you would do is you could buy 100 shares of whatever the the price is at the time, and then unfortunately, as of right now, as of this recording, the strangle is a little bit tight. So for example, you'll notice that at the 13th strike, like the bid and ask is like 5 cents versus over 10 cents, and I mean that's not a lot of room to maneuver. And even at the 12th strike, it's not that great either. So, but at least like if, for example, if you get filled at the mid price, or if you're in a hurry and you just want to get filled, if you sell directly at the bid, you'll pull in 30 cents here. And then correspondingly on the put side, if you sell it for, if you sell at the bid, you'll pull in 20 cents. You have to weigh that again for your own personal preferences and situation. Is $50 enough for you to do a covered strangle on? That's entirely up to you. For example, if you do this like 12 times a year, that's another $600 on top of whatever TSLY would potentially give to you. And I want to go over some of the maybe the pros and cons of doing it this way. So I have to think about what the worst thing that could happen is. Um, for example, if you're assigned the put, then you're basically put into what we could potentially call a wheel strategy, because when you're assigned the put, you're gonna get the stock, and then after that, your next step will be to sell a cover call immediately on that position, just to further lower your cost basis. So when you think about it, when you're selling a put and a call at the same time on a stock, one of two things could happen. Your stock will get either called away or you add to a position. For example, if you get assigned your on the put, then you would add another 100 shares on top of the 100 shares that you got originally at a slightly lower price. So that this is something that people that want to consider a dollar cost average. For example, if you think that Tesla is a good holding for you, this is something that you can consider for yourself. And then another ETF that I had my eye on for a while is Triple QY. So if you buy like 100 shares of Triple QY, it's $1,000, 860 at the time of this recording. But if you notice, the volume, it's not that great yet. And then even on the options, if you look, there's only like for example, the 18th strike put, there's only you know five outstanding, so that's only 500 shares. And then interestingly enough, on the call side, on the 19 call, that's only uh, 12 contracts open, so that's really light, and that's even on the November expiration cycle with again at the time of this recording, 29 days out. It's kind of skimpy, but this is still a good sign in that like they actually opened the strikes. So I think as more people learn about this, and for example, like hopefully with the help of this video, maybe I can get the word out. So if you guys can like and subscribe and just share, and then let me know in the comments below, like if you've tried this strategy before, and then like what your results were. I think maybe that could help the overall community in general. That would be great. I would really appreciate that. And then the fees, again, some of these products are a little bit expensive. So, it's at a 1% annual expense ratio, it's kind of steep. But, hopefully they'll be able to maintain like a higher um, dividend payout, which is paid from like the options premium that they're selling. So I just want to go over the pros and that I think like for most people, this should be a pretty easy concept to understand. It might take a while to kind of get used to the terminology. And these ETFs are pretty good in that they're pretty transparent themselves. So when you look at the website, you can see that the actual trades that they're doing on the underlying stock or the index. And then when you do a covered strangle strategy, you might be able to boost your yields even more. So it's definitely something to look for. The risks are that there's a it's a relatively high expense ratio, and then you're also layering on top of like some small commissions and fees, but they're generally not too bad, especially if you're using a broker like Thinkorswim, Tasty Trade, or even like the newer ones like Moomoo or Webull. Um, another drawback would be like if the implied volatility of the entire market drops, but I don't see that anytime soon. I think especially as the world, the economy gets a little bit more tight, we can actually see more volatility. But that's still a risk. And as I mentioned before, there might not be enough interest in some of these products to get good fills. The yields are not obviously not going to be consistent month to month, and it's slightly more work. Um, for example, like I've tried the strategy on NVDY, which is another Yieldmax product, and it took me a while to fill, but I did get filled eventually. It took a few hours, and I was trying to fill it at like the mid price. So just to give you guys an idea of how long it could take, especially if there are newer options yield ETF. So that's it, guys. I hope you can like, comment, and subscribe. That would be really great. And I look forward to sharing more information in the next video. Have a great one. Thank you.